Hello, everyone. This is your boy Apostle T, putting it down for the Lord. Thanking you right here for tuning in to our Engage Weekly moment. So, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I definitely appreciate you just being a part of what we have going on. I am a consultant, a coach, a thought leader, a strategist. I am a minister of the gospel, but I'm also a father and a friend, a fellow who is here right now, actually as a friend, trying to help as many people as possible to get the knowledge and information that they need in order to be able to live the life that they want to live. I truly do believe that everyone has the opportunity to gain and to grow, to move forward from where they are, to establish a new walk, uh, a new way to reach your destiny. I am one that believes in empowerment, and I believe that each and every person that watches this broadcast, that watches this podcast, will be empowered with greatness. I am the founder of WisdomWorx 2.0. I own this consulting firm. We focus on helping ministries, helping businesses, helping people to take what they're doing to the next level, whether it's through podcast production, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through just opening doors, making connections. That's one of the big things that we do here on with WisdomWorx 2.0, is to try to, again, trying to help people to become overall, or we work holistically. We work in every area from spiritual to mental to really to social, whether it's social media, whether it's marketing, whether it's that, whatever it is. We try to give you an overall picture of where you are, and show you how to get to where you want to be. And so that's our focus here at WisdomWorx. Also, I own TE Financial Services. We focus on with TE Financial Services bookkeeping and tax preparation, as well as small business consulting, helping small businesses to establish their launch. So we do that as well. Also own Wealth Heritage Group. And Wealth Heritage Group, we are an insurance firm, and really an aggregator, helping agencies and agents to find the best contracts, not only the best contracts, but to find those things that are going to help them to be the most productive in their life. And so, we do a lot. We do a lot to really try and help people to see and to gain what they're wanting. And we also own a few other companies, um, Right Choice Supplements, and what is it called? I own a lot, y'all. um, uh, Flybud tablets. What is it? Townsend Worldwide Communication, as well as Shakequake clothing. So we do quite a bit to try and to make ends meet, if I can say it like that. And so I absolutely want you to be a part of it. And with our nonprofit wing, we also do have a consulting firm that is strictly focused on churches called Kingdom Builders Ministry Network. And so we try to help pastors and leaders to become all that they can be, showing them ways to do outreach, helping them to grow their congregation, grow their social media presence, helping them to make connections, really, in a much broader scale, whether it's through marketing, through even online sources, and helping them to grow their social media presence. And lastly, we have our nonprofit. I almost said lastly. I shouldn't have said lastly, because we got another one. We have through TE Financial Services, we offer what's called My Money and Me. and what My Money and Me is a program that focuses on helping people, families, to gain the financial literacy they need in order to take their lives to the next level, a whole nother level, a whole nother space, a place where they can really do what they want to do with their lives. And so, helping people prepare for savings, prepare for college education, buying homes, and working their finances with where they are in order to get to where they want to be. So we have that in place as well, and it's called as free of charge. It's called My Money and Me. It's a financial literacy program, but also, lastly, and this has been, it was kind of my baby. We were able to travel the country with this. It's called Save Our City Crusades and Conferences. And what Save Our City Crusades and Conferences is, it really focuses on rallying communities together for the cause of Christ, helping churches and ministries to come together and to learn how to reach out, do outreach into their community, learn how to build a community, a resource to where they can have those, the needs of their church or their community be met by the church, and teaching them how to outreach. And we do that through door to door. We do that through street walking and praying. Also, we do it through events, concerts, and rallies. So Save Our City Crusades and Conferences. If you want to be a part of that, let us know. We'd love to come to your city and to a city near you. All right. So that being said, I've given you quite a bit of me tonight, quite a bit of what we do, but also in doing that, I want to make sure that you all understand that we're trying our best to do everything we can to be an encouragement to you. We've written some books. Definitely check Amazon, Terrence A. Townsend, look for my books, and that's TERENCE. One book, one of my favorites, is called God's Master Plan for Money. And that is really kind of where the core concept comes from for this program, which is called Engage Weekly. And so we utilize the principles of the Bible, the understanding that God has a plan for everything. There's not anything that God does not have a plan for. And because he has a plan for everything, we need to know what his plan is. We need to examine it. We need to study it. We need to use it like a roadmap to get to where we need to get. And it requires us following instructions. It requires us understanding that although I almost said Tom, y'all remember Tom, but the GPS, although GPS doesn't have all the instructions on where to get to where you need to get to, we know that God has given us full instructions on how to get to our place of destiny while we're down here. That's the thing. We have to understand that, the Lord Jesus has said, I've gone to prepare a place for you, that where I go, you may be also. He's saying that in his Father's house, there are many mansions. And guys, that's our goal. That's our final place of rest, is in the heavenlies. But down here, we have destiny. We have a destination that we have to get to. And it's all a part of God's purpose and plan for us. Why? Because God is using us to build his kingdom down here. That's what he's using us for. And if you're looking for purpose, that's purpose right there. There's your purpose right there. Know that God is wanting to help you to get to the place that he's destined for you, that his kingdom might be brought here in earth as it is in heaven. And we need to understand that that's the plan. That's the plan. We're taking territory. We're taking ground. We're moving forward. We're gaining through knowledge, through wisdom, and through understanding how to walk out this thing. Because the thing about it is that the principles of the kingdom are always tied to promises that God has for us. His kingdom principles are tied to promises that God has for him. And to understand principles are enunciated through everything that we do. Let me say that again. His principles are established through every act, through every thought, through every motivation, through everything that we do, whether it's us going to school and getting an education or just treating people right. His principles impact everything that we do. And it also, we got to understand that success, our success, is being able to walk out his principles so that we can see his promises come to pass in our life, because it's his promises that help us to get and to gain the land, the territory, the stuff down here that God has promised us. Y'all hear me? It's us walking by faith and not by sight. That's the only way you can walk into his principles, is walking by faith and not by sight. You hear me? His principles are enacted through faith. His principles bring about, following his principles bring about his promises. You hear me? And his promises are open doors to the reality of the kingdom of God. So that's who we want to be. That's where we want to be. Not just tonight, not just this day, but every day. Every time that we step out, every time that we wake up in the morning, we should set our minds to follow the Lord, to chase after him with all of our heart, with all of our strength, with all of our might. But to walk, we choose to walk by faith, to trust him. Even when it seems like trusting him is way off, we have to learn how to trust him, and we have to understand that our trust in him, our faith in him, is what qualifies, you hear me, what qualifies us to be partakers in the kingdom and in his kingdom promises. All right. So what we've been talking about here, we have been talking about credit. Man, look at that. I got so caught up in preaching, y'all. I wanna, you see, I want to stay in that vein. So, but we're talking about credit, and the thing is that credit, understanding credit, good credit versus bad credit, really the biblical viewpoint on credit, that's what we're learning. Because when we learn the truth about credit and how credit can help, hurt, and harm, and we can learn all of those things, how it can help us, how it can hurt us, and how it can harm us. Those things will help us to understand the true use of credit and some of the tools that we use in finances. Trust me, as a person who's been dealing with finances for a number of years, credit plays a part in it, but we have to understand the role that credit plays, how to use it, how not to use it, how to make sure that credit is not our end all or our constant go-to. We have to understand that there has to be a time where acquiring wealth and causing your wealth to help grow your wealth, those are the places where we want to be. We don't always want to be a place where we are borrowing or trying to get credit or trying to get a loan. We don't always want to be subject to anybody. Again, when you get a loan, there always should be a plan tied to that loan. Again, I'm not telling you something we hadn't talked about already. There should be a plan tied to that money. Do not get a loan if you don't have a plan. Don't go into debt without a plan. Perfect example, when a person goes off to college and they have to get a loan, guess what? They're getting a loan with a plan. You hear me? With the plan. The plan is to get education so that you can get a job and so that you can pay off the loan that helped you to get that job. You hear me? Helped you to get that education so you could get that job. That's going in with a plan. So we always want to make sure that we have a plan for every dollar, every cent of a cent that comes through our hands or that we're going to acquire. We need to have a plan for every dime, every dollar, every penny that comes through our hands. And that plan is what's going to help us to win in the end. So what we've been talking about, we have been talking about, and I have to do my anchor scriptures. I'm just gonna highlight them. I'm just gonna hit them. I know I say that every time, but I'm just gonna hit them, and then we're gonna go ahead and move forward to where we ended on last week. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7. Proverbs 22, verse 7. It says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. The borrower, that's a hard word to say. The borrower is a slave to the lender." And so we understand that whenever you borrow money, you become a slave to that lender until that loan is paid off. Romans chapter number 13, verse number 8, and it reads, "Owe no man anything except to love each other." That's where we got to be on that. We have to be those people that don't know anything but love. I don't owe you nothing but to love you. You hear me? If you want a Coke, I'll get you a Coke, but I don't owe you nothing. That's who we want to be. We want to be people that are not always weighed down things that are owed. You hear me? If I don't owe you anything but love, hey, praise God. God has shed love abroad in my heart. It's love that I got to give. Even when I don't feel like it, the Lord can love you through me. You know what I'm saying? So I need to be that guy, that woman, that girl, that brother, that sister, that person that don't owe you anything but love and doesn't owe anybody anything. Nothing tangible except for love. And love is an action. We'll talk about that another time. All right, Luke 14:28. It says, "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost?" Who's gonna build something without first sitting down and counting the cost? There's not an architect in the land, in the whole wide world, that will endorse you building a building without you first understanding the plans and understanding the cost. Every time you begin a work, you got to know what is going to cost you in order to make sure that it's complete. Nobody wants to start something and not see it all the way through. I'm not that guy that want to build a house, that wants to establish a business or industry or building and not know that I have the resources to make sure that it is finished. So we need to make sure that there's any time that we're talking about debt or going into debt or getting a loan or getting a line of credit, you have a plan for it. So that's it in Luke chapter 14, verse 28. Psalm chapter 37:21. It says, "The wicked borrows and does not pay back, but the righteous is generous and gives." That one hits, it cuts, because there are times where you get in situations and we get in situations where we just don't have what is required for us to pay it back. We don't have it right then. Sometimes you got to get an extension on your phone. Trust me, I've done it. Sometimes you have to do that. But the thing is that don't be like the wicked and borrow something and just whew, oh, they shouldn't have never bought. They should have never gave it to me. No, that's silly. It's childish. Anybody borrow something from you? If you had the facilities or had the means or had a business, and your business was money lending, or you own the bank, you want to make sure that those folks that borrowed from your bank pay you back. And you want to make sure that they are able to pay you back, and that's why it's such a scrutiny when you're trying to get a loan. It's because they want to make sure that you're able to pay them back, but this particular verse is talking about a heart set. We often talk about mindset, but it's talking about in your heart. Are you walking in righteousness, or are you moving like the wicked? Moving like the evil ones, or is it evil that's dwelling in your heart? And so are you moving like the wicked? And that means borrowing money, borrowing something and refusing or not even intending on paying it back. Yeah, we got to get those things right in our life. All of us got to get it right. And again, no one necessarily has to offer you any type of credit or any type of loan or anything. They don't have to. That's not something folks have to do for you. But you know what? There are organizations that are set up to help us. And then there are organizations that, you know, will uh, loan you the money in order to keep you in debt. And we talked about, some of those predator loans and that kind of deal, charging you 300% interest on your, $100 loan. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about, so we don't ever want to be caught in any of those traps. So let's go ahead and move forward. I think last week we talked about who benefits the most from credit. And we talked about that and how wealthy people, people who are financially literate, definitely individuals who know how to leverage credit, who know how to make sure that, if I get credit, I have the means to pay credit off. Most people who are wealthy don't like to use their own money to do stuff. So they'll go to the bank and they will take collateral to the bank, and on that collateral, they will go ahead and get a loan in order to do a project. And then let the project, once the project is done or once the new business is started, once it is making money, then that money goes toward paying back that loan. Oh, yeah. You got to learn how to leverage these things. You got to understand that your assets have value. Let me say that again. Your assets have value, but you need to make sure that the assets you have are valuable. Don't just buy any, if you need access to capital and you need to make sure that you have the right type of collateral. Make sure that your collateral is something that's real property, whether it's real estate, whether it's a house. Excuse me. Make sure that it's something that continues to carry value. Jewelry is something that doesn't lose its value. Real jewelry. I'm not talking about that stuff we buy for $3 on Temu. I'm talking about real jewelry. You understand what I'm saying? Those things have value. Insurance policies, whole life insurance policies have value. You understand what I'm saying? These are things that have value. When we'll talk and on other times on how to create assets and collateral and things that bring value into your life to where you can leverage against those things. You can borrow against those things. You can utilize those to help build your wealth, help grow your business, help start your business. You understand what I'm saying? Those types of things. So again, homeowners, real estate investors, they benefit greatly from credit because again, a homeowner, when you buy a home, the bank is gladly give you a loan for your home in order that you can go ahead and do that. Why? Because they're gonna make money off of interest, and if some reason you don't pay, they're gonna make money when they resell your house. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Lord, forgive me, because I know that I've been down that road. But that's where they're at. They're gonna make money either way. It's a win-win for the bank. It's a win-win for the lender. They fully understand that. What we don't understand is that it can be a win-win for us too. Because when you have that loan, you can pay on that loan. You pay extra on that loan, pay toward the principal to knock down how much interest you pay on that loan. You hear me? To knock down how long you have to pay for that loan. And at the same time, build equity in the house. Y'all hear me? Buy a house that's, that's normal, hadn't been changed in 10 years. Upgrade that bathroom. You feel me? Upgrade that kitchen. You feel me? These things add value to your asset. And that asset that was once worth 65,000 is now worth 85,000 because you did a little bit of upgrading. You hear me? And now when you get that house assessed again, and once they assess it at a high rate, guess what? Now you instantly have equity in that home. Yes. I'm just giving you a taste of what you're gonna get being a part of this Engage Weekly, being a part of WisdomWorx 2.0. You hear me? Entrepreneurs also benefit from loans, and not all types of loans, but they do benefit from loans. And there are times where you do need a straight up loan. I need to go ahead and buy some equipment in order to make sure that I can do the job that's needed. A lot of people will get short-term loans so that they can buy that equipment for that job, make their $5,000 and pay off that $200 loan that they had in order to rent the equipment. Y'all, you see what I'm saying? It's things like that you need to make sure that you're going to be able to pay that loan off, to get it paid back, to make sure that it is out of your hair, out of your hands. Make sure that you handle your business, and not only that, move forward into the things that you need. And also, students in high return fields, hear me. I would be so disappointed if you were one of the WisdomWorx family members, and you went to school for basket weaving and took out a loan for that. If you go to school for something, go to school for, I do encourage you to go for your passion. I'm not even gonna knock that. If basket weaving happen to be your passion, then guess what? You need to find a way to become a basket weaving coach. You need to find a way to create you a blog about something. You need to figure out a way to make some money from basket weaving. But students, if you are one of those, and you always wanted to be a doctor, or you always wanted to be a lawyer, or you wanted to be heck, a scientist, if that's a field that has always ignited your fire, don't be afraid to chase after it. You better hear me. Don't be afraid to chase after it. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I feel like it's some people that I'm talking to that have been allowed fear to dictate their journey. Don't allow fear to dictate where you are. Don't allow fear to dictate your journey. Don't allow fear to cause you to miss out on the opportunity that God has invested in you. Because trust me, if that's where the desire is, God invested that in you. That's who He created you to be. And the fact that you even desire something that folks around you don't even desire, guess what? There is the potential, there is the opportunity that God has already made a way for you to get there. The key is not to step back, but to prepare. If it's something that you want to do, and you think right now you may not be smart enough or sharp enough, take some practice courses. Guess what? Colleges will allow you to do that. They'll allow you to take a practice course without even enrolling, to monitor a course, or to monitor 5 courses, or whatever you want to do, and to learn all of that without paying for it. Why? Because eventually they know that when you come into their facility, you will succeed. Colleges benefit from people succeeding. You hear me? So they made a way for you to be able to do that. They benefit from people succeeding, and not only that, you benefit from that additional learning, and you can again make that assessment. Can I do this? Am I qualified? Can I make this thing happen in my life? You feel me? So these are the kind of little, it seems like they're little small things, but these are the kind of doors that we have to be looking for. There's always a way to gain what you want to gain out of life. There's always a way to become what you feel like God has called you to become. And no one can stop you but you. Trust me. No one can stop you but you. Me personally, everything that I've done, it has been because I believe that God has opened the door and has promised it to me. And guess what? You know, in school, I was the first person in my school district to be diagnosed with dyslexia. The first person. Every time that a kid would show some of the signs that I was showing, I was good up until a point, could barely read in public. I was so messed up, so nervous, to where I went from GT all the way down to special ed. You hear me? And the issue is that kids that deal with that are immediately just casted aside and put into a special needs program, a special ed program. But there was a teacher who saw something in me. She was substituting in the special ed class in sixth grade. And so I was in that class, but I'm tutoring all of the kids in the class, and I'm just going around passing out the paperwork. I'm I'm basically teaching the class. And she was like, "What are you doing?" I say, "Oh, well, this is what I do every day," just innocently, because I want to see people, I want to see these people get helped. I want to see my friends get what they need. And so she immediately ran out of the classroom. And so I'm still, again, sixth grader, going around from desk to desk, making sure everybody's work is right, helping people to do what they need to do, all of this kind of stuff. And she comes back in with the principal, and they're standing at the door watching me teach the class. And they're like, she's like, okay, well, we need to fix this. And I'm telling you, the fact that one person cared, the fact that you care, the fact that you are maybe the one person that care can change the whole trajectory of a person's life. That one teacher changed my life at that moment. I would have been continually classified as special ed or special in that class. I would have continued been classified as that. I went and took an IQ test. My IQ was off the charts. It was just disability, that disability of dyslexia. And so they completely changed the curriculum and added a course that was specifically for kids who were diagnosed with dyslexia. And so that's what happened. They began to actually test the kids, test the kids in the school district. And once they did that, I would go to a class twice a day, and we would work on just skills, and so I learned in my writing, learned to make sure that things were where they were. And again, we were taught cursive back then. You couldn't read mine until after going through that course. I really learned how to the hand-eye coordination that goes along with that. But also, I developed this memory to where if I knew that I was going to have to go home and study something, but the teacher was going to talk about it in class, guess what? I remembered word for word. I trained myself to remember word for word what that teacher was saying, what they were teaching. And then so when I was able to go home, I was able to source that information, able to read it, like it was like I didn't have any issues. You understand what I'm saying? There is a way, and trust me, it doesn't matter what the holdup is. It doesn't matter what the hangup is. It doesn't matter what stands in your way. God has a plan for your life, and the only one that can stop his plan is you. You hear me? Only one that can stop his plan is you. And that is you giving up. I was doing the right thing at the right moment in the right season of my life. And God completely created a platform for me to get the skills that I needed to step into my greatness. Y'all hear me? And God will do the same thing for each one of you. So if it's education that is at the door that you have to go through in order to get what God has for you, guess what? Go through the door. Do what it takes. Do what it takes. You know, I got family members that speak Spanish and they want me to learn Spanish. So you know what my next task is learning Spanish. And so I have to keep pressing forward. It is good to have things that are going to challenge you. Challenges are good. Challenges helps you to feel alive. The thing about challenge is that if you have to deal with the struggle is good. The struggle shows you that you don't want to be where you are. You want to be in a different place. The challenge causes you to strive, to do better, to do greater. It is okay. It's okay. You know, I tell you, when you're trying to change your life, struggle is good. Come on now. When you're trying to do something great, struggle is good. When you're trying to be more for your family, trying to be more for yourself, trying to be more for the kingdom so that God can use you, the struggle is good. There's nothing wrong with that kind of struggle. It's when we quit. We ain't quitting on nobody but ourselves. You hear me? Because God is still cheering you on. Come on. I got you. You keep walking through these doors. I'm gonna keep opening them up for you. You keep utilizing these talents. I'm gonna give you more. You invest them right. I'm gonna give you more. That's the God that we serve, man. And so, again, this is your boy Apostle T, and we still have more to come. We have more to come in this credit vein. And so I thank you for tuning in tonight. I just want to encourage you, my brothers and my sisters, don't stop believing. Don't quit. Don't quit on yourself. God has not quit on you. Don't quit on you. It's too many people. It's too much future that's waiting on you and hoping that you don't quit and that you continue to strive and survive. So God bless you. I love you. This is your boy, Apostle T, putting it down for the Lord right here. WisdomWorx, Engage Weekly. I want you to continue to tune in. Please like, share this to everybody that you know. Let them know that I'm on every week with Engage Weekly. So I want to make sure that you join us. And you know what? You can join us right here on Zoom. There's a little bit below this. There's a flyer that gives you the address for this Zoom. So join me 7 p.m. every Monday night right here on Zoom. Also join us over in Clubhouse. Faith, wealth, freedom is where we at right after this. God bless you. Love you. Talk to you soon. See you next time. This is your boy, Apostle T, and I'm out. Thank you for tuning in. Bless you.